Hey everybody, welcome back to Royal Tarot Readings. Excuse me. This is my fun channel that I do for tarot readings on the royal family and current events. All information presented in this video is for fun and entertainment purposes only. It's fun. It's tarot. I'm just a gal with cards. Okay, here's an update on my channel. Every day it's a step closer and then a step farther away. So I have to say Google and YouTube are working really closely with me. We're trying to get my account back, and Google's trying, which is nice. It's just, it's a problem of, I think, time zones. So every time I respond to a comment or respond to a suggestion that they give me, it takes another day to get a response and so forth. So, and then it's frustrating. We'll just say it's frustrating. So hopefully I will get my channel back. I am very, very hopeful. The big thing is getting the account back, which we've taken away from the hacker, which is good. Now it's trying to get it recognized on my devices again. So once we get that done, then YouTube will be able to restore, hopefully, my channel. So that's the update, and hopefully that will occur. Meantime, I'm going to just keep plugging away. And what I'd like to do with this reading is, all this was going on. This happened December 16th, and I was preparing to do my 2026 projections. So let's go ahead and start with that. We'll start with the 2026 predictions and projections for His Majesty King Charles and Queen Camilla. Let's see what's coming up for them in 2026. Now, a little bit different little thing I'm going to do here. I actually forgot to put my second deck out here. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to use two decks. One is the Gold Foil Tarot, which is a very lovely deck. And then I'm going to use a What's the Vibe deck. I think I've used this once or twice before. It's a really cool deck. It's one of my newer ones. And I'm going to do the traditional 12-month forecast, and we'll start with January and work our way around, and I'll match it with the astrological houses. And so one card is going to tell us what's going to happen generally for that month and maybe for that house, and I'm going to put another card down to say, and what's the vibe going to be for that month. So we'll kind of have two decks telling us what's going to be going on. I thought this would be kind of fun, a little different, and we'll do this for all of the 2026 projections. All right, and before I begin, if you would like to sign up for a private reading, I am opening them up again for January, and I'll put a link in the description box below. Or if you just want to support the channel, you can donate there, or if you would like to become a member, there are some perks I was able to do on this new website I'm using, Buy Me a Coffee, which has really expanded over the past year. It used to be just a place for donations, and now you can, they've really, really vamped it up. So if you want to become a member, and not through YouTube, because obviously I lost all my members, we can do this externally, and you can get different perks. I was able to set up some discount codes and things over on that website. So if you'd like to do that, just click on the link in the description box below. And thank you so much for all of your wonderful support and encouragement and help and emails and everything. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. Thank you so much, everybody. I couldn't have done it without your encouragement. I probably would have just given up. So anyway, all right. So enough of that. Let's get on now with our reading. All right. So first, I've got the gold foil cards in the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and get those shuffled and laid out. And then I'll bring out the What's the Vibe deck. I thought that'd be kind of fun. All right, so for 2026 predictions and projections, His Majesty King Charles. Well, let's just do King Charles. We'll do Queen Camilla on the next one. All right, so for His Majesty King Charles, what can King Charles expect in 2026? We're going to start with January and match up with the astrological houses. And if you haven't seen me do this spread before, I will explain it as I go along. All right, let's see what we get here. Oops. Ooh, the Hanged Man. Yeah, not a good start, being stuck. Kind of hanging there, twisting in the wind, and you have no idea how you got there. You just feel like a victim. You feel like I'm I am a victim of fate. I've gotten this before with him, where it's just a feeling of I'm just going to ride the tide of events because I don't know what else to do. Knight of Wands, going on a journey, going on an exploration journey. All right. So January through December, what can we expect for His Majesty King Charles? January through December. All right, and we're going. Whoop, okay, I think we're getting close here. Oh dear, Four Swords in reverse. Don't like that one. And the Devil. I saw the Devil on the bottom there. Yes, I did. I sure did. Okay, Heartbreak and Betrayal. All of our typical cards that we always see with His Majesty. All right, we're going to do one more shuffle here. Get them all mixed up in there. Yeah, that didn't feel right. All right, one more time. All right, we're just going to go with that one. I can't get the chaos out of the energy, so it's meant to be there. All right, we're just going to go with this. All right, so we're going to do, let's put January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. And our underlying energy is, oh boy, the Tower. Well, an act of God. All right, so wow. I usually only do one card for underlying energy for these 12-month projections like this. You can take a peek. Five of Swords fighting. The Emperor. I guess I'm going to do all three. Oh my goodness. There's the King. Well, his year is going to be ruled by unexpected catastrophic events, acts of God, and it's a lot of fighting, and it's going to affect him. Wow. Oh my goodness. Not a good start. Not a good start. All right, so this is the underlying energy for the year for the King. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, before we get going any further, I'm going to get what's the vibe. And we're going to find out what the vibe is going to be for each of these months here. All right, so what is the vibe going to be? And I don't read these in reverse. I think they're all upright. So what is the vibe going to be for His Majesty the King for 2026 for each of these months? And what I'm going to do is, instead of laying the cards out, as we get to each month, I'm just going to pull the card on the top of the deck. Just going to do it like that, just for the sake of room on the tarot table. What is the vibe going to be for 2026 for His Majesty King Charles for each of these months coming up, January through December? All right, so not a lot of energy coming through, but we will see. Ooh, okay. Go ahead and cut. And we're going to lay the card right there. The deck's going to be right there. And we'll pull a card for each one. All right, so for this 2026, which doesn't look like it's going to be very fun for the King, what do we have for January? January for the King. And the first house, which is the house of self. So we have the Ace of Wands, which is a new idea. Something new is going to present itself. It may be a new fight. It may be a new issue, something new that has not presented itself before is going to bring itself to the forefront, and it will affect King Charles directly himself, how he presents himself to the world. And what's the vibe going to be for January? What's the overall vibe? Running. Escape, denial, and excuses. All right, so for January, there's a new idea that he may run away from. He may fight about it, and because it's going to be such a huge catastrophic change. He will fight directly about it. He's going to run from this idea. Even though it has possibilities, it's going to grow. He'll run from it. He won't like it. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this cough, so I'll try to edit out all the coughing. All right. That's for January. Interesting. What about February? February is normally it's the house of income. This is how you earn your money. And for him, of course, this is the privy purse. This is him as king, the money that goes into supporting the royal family. Or not the royal family, but himself as the king. Nine of Wands in reverse. All right, so for February, Nine of Wands upright is about being battered and bruised, mental anguish in the traditional Rider-Waite. There's a bandage around the head. You've put up your barriers, and you're holding your own. Fighting is going along. You're defending yourself because you've put up a barrier that's working. And in reverse, the barrier is coming down. It can be overwhelmed by the exhaustion, the fighting, the tension. You know what this could be? I believe that in January, we've heard rumblings from the current government that they're going to start poking and prying into the royal estates, how the royal estates are paid for, who lives where, what the leases are, that sort of thing. And that may be this new idea that he is going to run away from. Something's going to present itself to him and he's not going to like it and he's going to run away from it. And by February, his defenses may come down. Not because he's letting them down, but because they're being battered down. This is going to be a tower year for the king. A tower year. A lot of fighting. A lot of fighting personally with him. This may have to do with the royal estates. That by February, something's going to come up where he can't defend something that is there. And what's the vibe for February? Feminine energy. Gentleness, nurturing, and mothering. He may say, that's the way my mother did it. This was set up by my mother. This is not me. This was set up because my mother wanted to nurture. He's going to throw it back to the queen, allegedly. These things are set up the way they are because of my mother. She wanted to nurture us all. She mothered us all. She was a very gentle woman. That may come out in February. All right. March. What about March? Now, March, the third house is the house of communication. It's also the house of siblings and in-laws, things like that. Six of Swords. Going overseas. Escaping, transitioning. So March, in the form of communication, is going to be dominated by overseas issues, things that are communicating with people overseas. I'm not sure if this has to do. I'm not. Can you clarify, Tarot? Who overseas? Is this an overseas country, overseas sort of thing, or are we talking Harry and Meghan? Overseas for March. Communicating overseas. To whom is the king going to be communicating overseas? What does that have to do with? Page of Swords. Information about children. This is a youngster. It could be just general information, keeping the finger on the pulse of things going overseas. He may be going overseas. I know that they have the trip planned in July for the 250th celebration for the U.S., our 250th birthday. Young little country that we are. It's more of a fact-finding mission. What's the vibe going to be for March? Ooh, antisocial. In your feelings, silent treatment left out. Ooh. Someone's going to be left out. I think this does have to do with Harry and Meghan. Something in March is going to concentrate on, I don't know if he will visit overseas, but something is going to happen where he's connected with someone overseas. And he's either going to get the silent treatment or leave someone out. Make it very, very clear by March that you are not welcome. You are being left out. I wonder if the king's going to come over to the U.S. or somewhere close to where Harry and Meghan are and will deliberately snub them. In March, deliberately snub them to say, I have no time for you. I have no time for you. All right. April and the fourth house. The fourth house is the house of home, your security, your foundation, where you call home. That's the fourth house. What do we have for April in the fourth house? The Magician. How interesting. PR and spin. Manifestation. So for April, it looks like that the home life, the home situation, there's going to be a spin to it. Going to be a little manifestation of what we see and what is actually going on. And what's the vibe going to be? Karmics. Third partners, haters, and lessons learned. Ooh, how interesting. So that's going to be, let me move this back a little bit. That's going to be for April. There's going to be a little bit of karma coming up in April, having to do with the home, having to do with things are this way because that's the way that the lesson that I've learned has told me this is how it has to be. And for people that hate me, third parties that don't like me, oh well, that's on you. That's your karma. I think we're building up to something here too. I'm starting to get the feeling that it's going to start with some issues with the government, looking at properties. He's going to say, well, that's the way my mom wanted it. And something having to do with some people overseas, which could be Harry and Meghan. He's going to very, very deliberately make it known that we're done with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. Go away. I'm leaving you out intentionally. And then for having to do with the home life, this is the karma that I've dealt for myself. This is the karma you've dealt for you. That's the way it is. And we'll spin it however you want, but there's no changing the underlying reality that we have made our beds, we must lie in them. Okay. All right. May in the fifth house. The fifth house is the house of beauty and romance and children. What do we have for the king for May? Oh, the star. Hope and healing and faith. It's also about being the center of attention, too. Something will center on him. Something will absolutely center on him. He's going to become very... the way that he loves, the way that he expresses himself, especially in feeling romance and love and his children, is going to be very, very evident in May. What's going to be the vibe? Toxic. Drama, arguments, incompatible. Wow. All right. I think this is going to be... this is where we're going to see William come out to the forefront. Very deliberately, my choice is William. I'm leaving Harry behind. I don't need your toxic drama. I don't need your arguments. We're incompatible. And I need to move forward because I need the hope and strength and healing. I need this to be about myself and my heir. This is not about you anymore. And I'm talking about Harry very specifically. This is the Tower year. This is the Tower year. Where I think it's like I have to say this now because there's no more time. Goodness. All right. June and the 6th house. The sixth house is the house of work and health. King of Pentacles in reverse. All right, King of Pentacles upright is the provider. This is usually an earthbound man or earth sign man, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. It's also the very wealthy man. And in reverse, not being able to provide anymore. I can't provide like I used to. Things that I used to rely on to make me feel successful and wealthy are going. My health is preventing me from being the provider I once was. I think his health is going to take a turn in June. And what's the vibe going to be? Hopeless. Oh my God. Loss, depression, and the S word. Okay? I think his health is going to take a terrible turn in June. And we're going to realize things are hopeless. Something's going to happen here. Something's going to happen here. Somewhere around here. And at first we're going to feel hopeful that things are going to be good. And I think by June, things are going to look hopeless. And it's got to do with the health of the king. All right. What about July? The 7th house, which is the house of marriage and partnerships. It can be business partnerships as well. It doesn't have to be marriage. It typically is marriage, but 10 of Pentacles. The family goes on. 10 of Pentacles, line of succession. Generational wealth, DNA, moving one generation on to the next. If we do have a change in the monarchy, it may be here in July. What's going to be the vibe for that month? Established. Settled, secure, and wealthy. Wow. Oh, goosebumps. Yeah, that's definitely having to do with the moving on, line of succession, next generation. Everything is secure. Everything is established. It may be in July. It may start, I think it may start, I keep getting a feeling sometime around here. But there's a lot of hope in May. But by June, things are hopeless, and then by July, things move on. So I think we may have a change in the monarchy in July. Oh my gosh, that's right when the anniversary is going to be. That's when the king is supposed to come over. Well, okay. Well, we'll see. If this weren't the 6th house, which is the house of health, then I might have read that a different way, but this is hopeless, the house of health. Health and work. All right, let's see now. What do we have for the August in the 8th house? 8th house is the house of the occult. It is death and taxes and not childbirth, but death and taxes, inheritance. It can be other people's money. What do we have for the August in the 8th house? 4 cups. Not interested. Apathy. An offer is made and you reject it. Rejection. Well, obviously, if the king's not here anymore, if we do have a change in the line of succession, then this could be rejecting something that the king had put forward. What do we have for that vibe? Recharge. Breathe, let go, clear your mind. That could be, moving on to the next world. It could be. If it's not, then something is being rejected, something is not being accepted because he needs to recuperate and regenerate and find a way to recharge his batteries. All right, so we'll continue as if the king is still around, or if he is not around, then what becomes of his legacy, so to speak. All right, so next we're going to have September, which is the 9th house, and that is the house of higher learning, education, intuition, and religion. 6 of Wands, a victory. So, something spiritually will be very victorious for him. He will be very successful and publicly lauded for something that he did or is doing having to do with higher education or religion. Something having to do with religion, perhaps, that he's going to be lauded for. And what's going to be the vibe for this month? Consequences. Bad choices, games, mixed signals. Okay. So even though it's a victory for understanding that religious choices, religious choices that were made for the country, for the Commonwealth, the bad ones are going to be acknowledged and the consequences will be seen. Any games that were played will be very evident, and the mixed signals that went out there about this is going to be very evident too. The consequences of anything having to do with religion and higher learning is going to be very evident. And that's going to be in September. All right, October. What do we have for October? For the 10th house, which is the house of career. This could be legacy right here. How you remembered, your career, your destiny. How are you remembered in the world? Page of Pentacles. Learning. Or it could be about selling a story. It's also the student card. So I think that in order to explain why the king did the things he did having to do with religion, it's going to be put forward. I love to learn. He was just learning. He always wanted to experience new things, new learning. That's the story that's going to be spun to explain why the king has done the things that he's done. And what's going to be the vibe for October? Isolation. Rejected, left alone, self-inflicted. People won't buy it. People won't buy it. They'll be like, yeah, I know he was trying to learn. But you can't do spiritual learning for yourself and destroy your country. And that's how people are going to feel. I know you were trying to learn about all this stuff, all these religions, trying to be inclusive, blah, 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 blah. But nobody's going to buy it. Say, well, okay, but you isolated all of us. You left us feeling rejected. You left us alone. You did this yourself. This was self-inflicted. People will not look kindly upon him in his legacy, allegedly. All right, 11th house, and this is the house of friends, hopes, wishes, and dreams. And this will be November. 8 of Wands. Fast-moving energy. This can be about air travel. This can be about things happening very quickly over the airwaves. Information going around the world very quickly. Something having to do with his legacy going forward. There's something that will be known about him that will come out that's going to be probably shocking, because the Tower is ruling everything here. And it will be generated around the world very quickly. Very, very quickly. All right, and what's going to be the vibe for November? Burned bridges. Wow, we're just getting a real theme here for next year. Lack of trust, disloyal, turned your back on. Something that the king did is going to become known, and it's going to be like, that you shouldn't have done that. That was really a disloyal thing to do. Allegedly. It could have to do with his brother. Maybe some friends of his. Some things his friends did. His friends may talk and open their mouths about things they probably shouldn't have. They're going to be looked at as very disloyal. And that's what's going to go. It's going to go around the world very quickly. Someone's going to spill a secret on him. Yeah, they really are. That's going to be November next year. And finally, December. What do we have for December? And the 12th house, which is the house of hidden enemies. It is the house of the subconscious. Things beneath the surface. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Something was a waste of time. Something will be a waste of time. Upright 8 of Pentacles is the master. You're mastering your craft, working extremely hard. And in reverse, it can either be about being lazy or being the huge effort that you put into something was not worth it. It was a waste of time. And he knew it. So this is subconscious, things that you just instinctively know. It could be hidden enemies as well. Something that you put so much work into, you knew was a waste of time. You knew it. And that's going to bear out in December. And what's going to be the vibe for that month? Nightlife. STs, gamble, and Vegas. Ooh. Some chance that he took or will take is going to be wasted. All the effort that he put into something, maybe to keep something hidden. Oh, okay. This is Betty Andrew. Something, even next year, even at the end of next year, something about Andrew is going to come out that the king tried to hide. And it was a waste of time because it's going to come out. Really, about nightlife. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Wow. Well, not a great year for next year for the king, but okay. I'll try to wrap this up quickly. All right, so for January, something new is going to come out. Well, first, the entire year is going to be a tower year. A lot of fighting, and it's all going to center around the king. Okay, so we were talking directly about the king, which we were anyway, but that just brings it to light. All right, so in January, something new is going to come out, some new ideas, some new thought, possibly having to do with Parliament, this idea that they want to dig into the royal properties, and the king's going to run from it. He is going to run from it. He's going to run from it. Escape, denial, and excuses. And in February, in looking at these royal properties and with the government digging into it, allegedly, they're going to find out some things, some barriers are going to come down, and some information is going to be available that wasn't before. And the king will say, well, that was my mother. She was just trying to take care of everybody. She was just being nurturing. That's why things were set up that way. And then for March, something's going to happen overseas. There's some kind of transition. And this may have to do with Harry and Meghan. And they're going to, the idea of being antisocial and left out, they're going to be given the silent treatment. And it's going to cause a big ruckus. We'll hear a lot about this. And then in April, there's going to be a lot of PR and spin put out about something about the home front, something about home properties. And it's going to be, well, you know what? That's your karma. If you hate me and stuff like that, I mean, if you don't like the way it is, that's too bad. That's the way it is. That's your karma. And then something's going to happen here. And by May, we're going to feel like there's some hope that this catastrophic event may bring itself out in May. And it's going to bring out a lot of drama and arguments. And in the end, there'll be a lot of hope. But what's leading up to is the health of the king. Whatever happens through here is going to severely affect the health of the king. And he will not be the provider that he used to be. He will no longer be able to be that person. And he'll be feeling very lost and depressed or people will be feeling lost and depressed. And then that's going to be by May, and then January, February, March, April, May, June, July. By July, we may have this change of monarchy, change of succession, or William may step up because the next generation is going to take over, and it will be established. Everyone will feel settled, secure, wealthy. It's going to be, that's the way it should be. And then by August, something's going to be rejected that the king put out there. And people are going to try to say, no, that's not the way it's going to be. And we're just going to let it go, recharge. Don't think about that because we're not going to accept it. And then by September, there's going to be some victory put forward. And it's going to have to do with something having to do with religion that is being very evident. That's something that the king had pushed in religion and spirituality. People are going to look at as, but that was a bad choice. Do that for yourself, not for the country, because now we have these consequences. And then by October, people are going to say, well, he was just trying to learn. We reject that because now you hurt us. So something having to do with religion, and I think we all know what I'm talking about, that's going to really come forward and be very evident, and people are going to reject the excuse that was given. And then by November, we're going to have some friends of his are going to talk, and we're going to get some shocking information that's going to come out, and it's going to go around the world, and it will result in lack of trust and disloyalty. Maybe people who speak out on this may have some consequences in that they'll be outcast. You shouldn't have said that. Why did you say that? No one will trust them going forward. But that's going to be coming out in November. And then by December, an effort to hide something was a complete waste of time. It's probably about Andrew, looking at these words. So something about the nightlife and gambling and Vegas, that sort of thing, is going to be coming out, and it was a waste of time to try to hide it. Whew, my goodness. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was way longer than I expected. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please like and share. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate my subscribers. Hope you guys are enjoying the readings. And if you're not a subscriber, well, please do subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss another reading. Don't know if I'll have a puppy video here. If I do, it'll be short. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again soon on Royal Tarot Readings. Bye-bye, everybody.